ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
It's Thursday. We are 2 days out from East Carolina hosting Memphis in a critical American Conference game inside Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. We'll preview that and much more over the next hour. We've got Maceo Donald, ECU sideline reporter, set to join us shortly. He'll be on the sidelines for the Pirates' home finale. It's also Senior Day. We'll talk about some of the emotions players go through when they're getting ready for Senior Day as well. Also excited to catch up with freshly minted Hall of Famer Shane Carden. He'll join us over the phone around 12:30, so looking forward to talking to the captain. As Coach Ruff would say, one of the best quarterbacks and players in ECU program history. We'll recap his weekend in Greenville. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. A reminder to download the IBX Media app if you don't already have it. Not only can you listen to the Pirate baseball, football, and basketball games on the go there, you can also listen to this show live or archived. You can listen to the Patrick Johnston Show live or archived, and also Inside Pirate Athletics every Monday, and the Logan Zone, which will be today, special start time because of the basketball game tonight. The Logan Zone will be 4 to 6 p.m., and that'll take you into network coverage with Darren Vaught leading into the game at 6:30 as the Pirates prepare for Elizabeth City State. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. My plan is to take my 4-year-old son to the game as a fan, so looking forward to enjoying some basketball inside Minges Coliseum tonight in Greenville. Philip Pilkington, he's back in the 94.3 The Game studios. Philip, we are 2 days out from ECU Memphis. Cameron's already in the chat. He says, I'm so pumped for this game Saturday. We have not had this excitement for a conference game since 2014. Massive opportunity. So let's get a vibe check. How are we feeling? Pirates, Tigers, big matchup inside Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium.
Yeah, it is, Stephen. And, it's kind of a weird thing. We were talking about it before the show is, East Carolina's got a lot more to play for, and it comes down to, does Memphis tuck their tail between their legs after a tough loss last week at home against Tulane, or did they show up and try and play spoiler? So I think if they show up and try and play spoiler, you feel like you're going to be in a dogfight for 60 minutes. If they just don't care, I think this is a game where, does East Carolina blow them out? Absolutely not. I think this Memphis team is too talented to get blown out, but is it just one of those games where it feels like Memphis is kind of chasing the entirety of the contest? So a lot of it comes down to the headspace I think that the Memphis Tigers are in, and obviously if you're East Carolina, you have to prepare for them to come in and wanting to play spoiler and being a little bit ticked off at themselves for the performance that they showed 8 days ago, or it will be 8 days, against Tulane when they roll into Dowdy-Ficklen.
Yeah, Memphis has lost 2 games this year. Both have been by 1 score. They have gone 19 consecutive games without a loss by more than 1 score. So smart money would tell you even if ECU wins, it's probably going to be a close game. I've got mixed feelings on this game, and we'll get into it as well with Bobby Howard tomorrow. But I feel like ECU's ready for this moment. I don't know. We know now looking back at it, they were not ready for the moment to get to BYU. Also knew that, looking back at it, they weren't quite ready for the moment in the first half against Tulane. But, talking to John David Baker a few weeks ago during the bye, he talked about how ECU's got to learn how to win big games. I think part of that is just understanding, and having that belief, we are a good football team. And I think ECU's kind of reached that point, and now they just got to go out and prove it. I've seen enough ECU when they are operating at a high level this year. They are certainly capable of winning a game like this, and I think the number shows that as well. ECU is a 3-point favorite on the line. Now, certainly I think the health of Brendan Lewis, the Memphis quarterback, has something to do with that. I would take ECU's quarterback situation on paper going into this game. You have a healthy Caden Hauser. I do think Memphis's backup quarterbacks are legit. They just don't have the experience. But watching them talent-wise, they make some throws and some runs that really say, man, this guy's got a chance to be good. So, you got home field advantage. You've got a healthy quarterback. And I feel like ECU, they've been put in the spot and they haven't come through yet. But those moments should prepare ECU for a game like Saturday, Philip. It's just time for the team. Usually you have, the whole mantra of you lose big, then you lose close, then you win close, then you win big. And I think that same kind of applies in these bigger matchups, so to speak, against like equal or even better competition. Like ECU has lost close a couple times now, and they've learned from those mistakes, and hopefully they take the next step, at least open if you're an EU fan.
Yeah, you're right, Steven, and I think they are ready to do that. I think they are in the mindset that they are ready to do that. For talking to Tegan this week, talking to Caton, they know how big this is, and I don't think the moment's going to be too big for them, but also just because you lose the football game doesn't necessarily mean the moment was too big. Now, you can go out there and lay an egg, of course. However, this is a good football team, like we said, rolling in here. I think they are probably a 1A, 1B, and I would guess they're probably the B behind South Florida's A for the most talented teams in the league. They are very big in the trenches, and that's where football games are won and lost. So, are they ready to win this game? I believe they are. Are they going to win this game? Flip a coin is where I'm going to go with this one. And like I said, a lot of it comes down to just how motivated is Memphis to go out there and play this football game now that they are out of the college football playoff race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They went from being on the brackets, and then you lose that game at home, to really being out of it. So to me, we find out how good of a coach Ryan Silverfield is this week. I know we were talking earlier this week with Jonah Dillon. He's getting some flack from Memphis fans. You're coming off an emotional loss. Now you're going on the road, toughest road environment you've played in this year. Like, it's going to be not easy, I think, for that coaching staff to get those guys ready to play. And they've started games slow as well. That has cost them a couple times, but they've also been able to erase those deficits at home. Where now you're on the road, can you afford to fall behind again? And then on ECU's end, you're hoping to start fast, get the crowd into it, and build from there. So, look, we'll get more into Memphis ECU, obviously Friday with Bobby Harward. We'll also talk about it with Maceo Donald. We're going to go ahead and get a break in. We'll catch up with Maceo on the other side. Again, Shane Carden coming later in the program as well, new ECU Hall of Famer. He'll join us around 12:30. So let's go ahead and get that break in. Maceo Donald will break down ECU Memphis next.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. You get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
The Pirates play here.
Time to play the game.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into Hoist the Colors on a Thursday. We're 2 days out from ECU and Memphis, a big game inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. We'll preview that now with Maceo Donald, ECU sideline reporter. And Maceo, it's been quite some time since the Pirates had a game inside Dowdy-Ficklin with this high of stakes, and a lot of excitement around town. Just what's your overall vibe? You ready for Saturday, man?
Oh yeah, absolutely ready, man. It's a privilege for those guys to be in that situation where they're bowl eligible already and have 3 more games on the schedule, one against a really good opponent that's always been good in our conference. So it's just a privilege to be in this position with only 1 loss in the conference as well, and really able to make a push for the conference championship. And I don't really know how long since that's been like a real thing. So it's definitely a huge moment, and I hope everybody shows up on Saturday.
Pirates are coming off a 48-22 win over Charlotte, and maybe not the total butt kicking that we all foresaw or hoped for. But what were your overall thoughts coming out of that game?
Yeah, I think overall it was a pretty solid game. I think just the parts that we messed up on, obviously the weakness that we all know we have is kind of in the secondary as far as our corners, not as far as our safeties, but really more so our quarterbacks. And it was really just some explosive plays they made on the outside, which made the game seem a little bit closer than it was. I think we're up 35-7 at one point. I mean, we were kicking the guys' butt, like we should have. But I'm sure Coach Harrell. I mean, when I interviewed him at halftime, he was PO'd because he felt like it should have been a more dominant performance, except for those big plays that we gave up. So I mean, he was still PO'd. They definitely left some plays out there defensively, but offensively they looked pretty good. Caden looked pretty good. Our receivers are doing well. So overall, I think it's a good performance and a good way to get a good win over a team that we definitely have a little bit of animosity for. So overall, it was a big win.
Yeah, I did not hear the interview, Maceo, but I was told by a couple sources that Blake had to hold off on dropping some curse words. So the real question is, what did you ask him to get him so riled up, man?
No, I mean, I think the only thing that I asked them at halftime was, they had a pretty quick start last week, and then this past week they also had another quick start. So, I mean, it was really about that because, I mean, the games that we've kind of lost, we've had slow starts offensively for the most part. If you look back at State, BYU, even Tulane. So, I mean, we started off quick back-to-back weeks, and it looked like we were headed in the right direction. But obviously, like any coach would be or anybody that just loves a particular craft, you look at all the bad things. You remember the good things, but you really remember the bad things. So I think that was what was on his mind. But he's a good sport. I mean, I like Coach Harrell a lot because he'll give you answers. So sometimes everyone wants to give you the political answer, but he'll tell you how he feels, and he's not shy about it.
Pirates win at 48-22. What does it say about the standard, Maceo? And not that Charlotte's a good team this year, but you win by 26, you're bowl eligible, and it just feels like, I don't know, people aren't nearly satisfied. Like the standard has been raised that much. What does that say about the job Coach has done?
Yeah, he's done a really good job, obviously, since he took over as head coach. And I think just as far as playing a team that you're supposed to beat, I think as far as from a coaching aspect, you want to just dominate like how you're supposed to. And we did. Honestly, we did for the most part. We let up literally a few just explosive plays. It wasn't like they were just driving down the field on us. It was just big explosive plays that we let up in the secondary. So we want to get those back. And if we got those back, I mean, I think I predicted pretty much the same score, about 48, but I thought it was going to be a shutout or 1 touchdown. So it ended up being basically like that, minus those explosive plays. But I mean, Coach Harrell has been really good, and those guys love playing for him. And it seems like the staff loves coaching for him, and it seems like they're finding their rhythm right now. And this is the best time of the year that you want your rhythm. Obviously, you lock down your bowl seat now. So now it's like, how can we really make a push for the American Conference Championship, which is crazy to say because maybe in the past at least 8 years or so, we've only had one other opportunity when it's been like that in that 2022 season. So I think it's just, they have the potential to really have a special season if you just put it all together and, capitalize on those big games. unlike how we did early in the season with NC State, BYU, and Tulane.
It was homecoming, which meant we not only got Maceo Donald back, but many of your former teammates. We also saw Trey Savage. We saw some guys in the league now. We saw former Pirate greats going into the Hall of Fame. So what was it like to be a part of that as a former player? Did you connect with any of your old teammates specifically?
Yeah, man, it was cool. I didn't see any, but I knew a lot of guys were coming back. But I didn't see those guys until I went down on the field on the sideline. I saw Tyler Savage, Shane Calhoun, former tight ends with us. Shane obviously transferred to Texas A&M his last year. You saw Jari Patterson, Alex Flynn was there. Obviously Holton was there. Noah Henderson was there. D'Angelo McKinney, a lot of the old guys. Andre Pegues, Elijah Morris, Big Tay, Rajay. A big group of guys. Siobhan. And also, obviously, Trey was there. Got to see him, too. So this was just fun. It was a good experience. And it's a good thing to see the guys that are going out and just being successful, even if it's not in sports, but also in sports. Obviously, Trey, he's the most recent guy that was pitching in the World Series that was going crazy. And then I also saw Jaquan McMillan and Julius Wood and Savon Rebel. So some of those guys that are in the league now. So it's just really fun. It's just good to see him just because you know how you guys were together every day, just so close, and then everybody kind of goes and does their own thing because they're from different parts of the country. It's just good to see that everyone's, for the most part, doing really good. And also, it seems like we might be DBU more than receiver U because it seems like all of our DBs make it to the league.
No doubt. I mean, you're not lying with and we could see Savone on the field this Monday night, which could be a blast if he ends up playing. Yeah, I was going to ask Maceo, obviously it's cool to be a part of a team, and especially at a major university like East Carolina, but I don't know, weekends like that make it feel like so much more than just a team. It's truly like a family, a program that lasts for decades, coming back, seeing all the people, and you kind of connect with guys that maybe you didn't even really play with. That's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking to that, I was talking to Shane Calhoun for a while. Like I said, he transferred for Texas A&M, big time SEC. I think they're third in the country right now, fourth in the country. So a big time program. And I was just asking him, what was it like just being there, big time football SEC? And he was just saying that, it's crazy. It was just the higher level of football you go, the more business like it was. He was like, the football and everything was fun, but it wasn't like anything like ECU, just like that family environment, just being so close with everybody. And things like that. So, it's definitely a big deal to be at the ECU, what ECU has going on as far as just a relationship, player-coaches, player-to-player, especially under Coach Harrell, is just pretty special. Just that just team environment, that camaraderie is really nothing different. And, when you have a good group, it'll be just like it was Saturday. You haven't seen guys, some of them in a year or a few weeks or months or a couple years, and it's just you pick up like you guys never left and you just saw each other yesterday. So, it's just really special.
Rizzo Maceo Donald, a former ECU football player, now the sideline reporter for the ECU Sports Network. All right, so I was looking back at 2022, your final year as a Pirate. Now, we were talking pre-show. You didn't walk in this game because you were still trying to figure out what you were going to do as far as your eligibility, your playing career, but it was your final game in 2022 inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, and that was one of the more confounding games I've ever covered. ECU was a 6.5-point favorite over Houston. The Pirates go out and lose 42-3. They got outgained on senior day, 515 to 315. Get 435 yards passing to Clayton Toon. Tank Dell went for 176. Matthew Golden went for 127. Obviously, those guys are both in the league now. So I don't know, man. Can you explain what happened that day? Do you have any memories of that?
Yeah, I try to forget it, but definitely have memories. And it's just I didn't tell you this before the show, but it's just a classic game where you let one game beat you twice. You lose one week and then you're still holding on to that loss of the week before, and then you lose the following week. So, like we were just kind of saying, that these guys now, this team this year has an opportunity to compete for a conference championship. You're inviting a good opponent in who we're actually favored against. And, if you win this game, you have a really good chance of potentially playing for a conference championship. And that's a similar position to what we were in 3 years ago this time. We had won about, I think, 3 straight. We had beat Memphis in 3 or 4 overtimes. We had to beat University of Central Florida. We had killed them at home. And then we went up to BYU, and we beat BYU in a walk-off. I'm sure everybody remembers that. And then the next week, we went up to Cincinnati, who was obviously they were still in the conference, a really good program. And I think it was, at that point, it was between, like, Cincinnati, maybe Central Florida, us, and, like, another team. And I think if we would have won out, if we would have beat them, and we would have, beat Houston and some of the other teams, because we already had beat Central Florida, we would have had a chance to compete for a conference championship. And I don't know if you guys remember that Cincinnati game up there in 2022, and it was a close one. We had a lead in the third quarter, I believe, and I think we ended up losing like 24-29, so a close game that I think we all felt we should have won. And then that next week, we just came out and laid an egg. So we haven't been in those positions a lot, and we didn't handle it the right way, honestly, when we were there, and we came out and just kind of let Houston run all over us. But I think this is just a lesson of what they should not do now. They have an opportunity here now to still make a push. Even if they were to lose this game, they still have 2 games after that to where they can still come out with the 9 wins or 8 wins in a season, in a regular season, the best that it's been in a long, long time as far as regular season, not including the bowl game. So they have a big opportunity, but that's definitely what I remember. Tank Dell was killing us, but it was definitely the week before. We just, that energy kind of just got sucked out of us, just knowing what we weren't going to have a chance for a conference championship anymore. We had never been in that position, so it was kind of new for us, and we didn't handle it right. But these guys have an opportunity to do it right.
No doubt, Pirates will try to get it done on this senior day at 4 o'clock against the Memphis Tigers. All right, what are your keys to victory, Maceo? I don't know how much you've been able to dive into Memphis, but do you have any big keys? Obviously, with their quarterback being a little banged up, we'll see what happens there with Brendan Lewis, but really talented football team coming in. How do the Pirates win this one?
Yeah, they are super talented, and I don't think we should take them lightly, but we've played a lot of talented teams this year, and for the most part, I think in every game this season, I think we've had a chance to win the game, or just we've had those few moments where the tide could have turned in our direction, and we didn't take advantage of it how we should have. So I think more so than them, I think this is about us this week. I think we're in our best groove we've been in all season. This isn't like it's a fresh team where you're still getting to know who's doing what or just figuring out how good our team is. We know we're good. We know we have a quarterback. We know we have receivers. I mean, our running backs are showing up the last few weeks. So I think this is more about us. I think it's just starting out quick. The games we start out quick, we really have a good chance. But you see in NC State where it was too little too late, we're trying to make a push late in the game after starting super slow, or BYU where we start super slow and then eventually they just take off on us, or even Tulane where we just have an opportunity, start off slow, was able to come back and get a win. I mean, come back and get the lead, and then it just not work out for us late in the game. So I think if we just come out right, just high tempo, high execution, able to control the energy, and just they're going to know the opportunity they have, but not to let it get past them and just not to psych them out. So I think if they just come out with that mindset, I think they'll have a real opportunity to win the game. And I mean, if we win this weekend, we're looking at maybe a 10-win season on the table, a 9-win season on the table, which is insane in Coach Harrell's second year. I mean, this guy deserves another raise. I think he already got a little bonus, right, from winning from being bowl eligible.
Yeah, he gets a free. I shouldn't say a free because he had to earn it, but he gets an automatic 1-year extension on his. As long as he coaches in the bowl game, he's extended another year. He signed a shorter deal than most head coaches sign, 4 years.
Sure.
So I think it was a fair compromise there, and he's earned it. So congrats to Coach Harrell. All right, enough college football talk, Maceo. The game people want to know about is this Sunday, 4:25 Eastern Time, Chiefs at Broncos. The Chiefs are favored. Your Chiefs by 3.5 at last check on the road. Can they actually go into Mile High and get this done? This is a big spot for them. Must win for the Chiefs.
Well, I said they did it last year, right? Or was that no, we didn't do it. That was at home. They blocked the kick.
Yeah,
right?
that was the, and then the Chiefs rested their starters in the finale at Denver.
Right, Carson went.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be fun. It's going to be cold. They play in the cold already, so that's not a factor. Maybe the elevation will be a little bit of a factor as well. But I just don't see the Chiefs losing 2 in a row like that. That would be insane. And the Broncos are also they're winning. I think 8-2 right now. I could be wrong. 8-2, 7-2. But they've not looked great. They're winning games, but they're kind of doing what the Chiefs were doing last year, where you're winning games but you don't look great. So I think that's, at least offensively, Bo Nix hasn't looked that great this year. But the Chiefs also haven't looked that great this year either. So I think it'll be a good one. I'd be surprised if Mahomes and Andy Reid have lose 2 in a row. That would be very surprising. But if you ask Jaquan McMillan, former Pirate that is a starter for the Broncos, he said they're gonna beat their what. And when I talked to him on Saturday, I actually gave him a ride after the game to his hotel because he was headed back to Denver. And I asked him, man, what you going to do with my boys? He said, well, we're going to kill him. So it'll be fun. I want to see him do good, but I want to see the Chiefs win the game.
No doubt. Chiefs are off a bye. Andy Reid off a bye. So look, I'm picking the Chiefs here. Denver's kind of banged up, but
what?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to win the game. I'm gonna do the smart thing, and that way, when the Broncos win, it'll be that much sweeter because it'll be that much more surprise. But I'm not gonna doubt Andy Reid and Mahomes off a bye in a must-win spot for the division. They really need this one. Like Denver can lose it and still be in okay shape. KC needs it for the division. So we'll see. Surtain probably out. Dobbins likely out for Denver, so they're kind of banged up as well. But we'll see, man. Hey, only $282 for entry price, the lowest ticket available. So maybe we should make the trip.
Let's go.
Jaquan could hook us up, right?
He probably could, man. He probably could.
Yeah.
He was saying he doesn't like to fight, so I'm not sure how much his people are going. They might want to go out there for this game. Making the trip from North Carolina. He's from like the Winston-Salem area, and going out to Denver and everything. So he was saying, I just hate this flight coming out here. He said, I'm in the air longer than I'm really here.
No doubt.
It'll definitely be good, but maybe he'll hook us up tickets later.
We'll have to get that going for sure, man. Maybe in the playoffs. Maybe when the Chiefs are in Denver for the playoffs, we'll make the trip. All right, Maceo. Well, best of luck, I guess, in the rest of the games outside of when they play the Broncos, but we'll see what happens Sunday.
He doesn't mean that. He ain't pulling for your guys regardless. He's trying to be the Chargers at the end of the game.
Here.
He's got his fingers crossed behind his back or something, huh?
Yeah, it is what it is. But, hey, should be a good game regardless. Maceo, good stuff, man. We appreciate the time as always, and we'll reconnect next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
That's Maceo Donald, ECU Sideline reporter. We'll be right back on Hoist the Colors after this.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Welcome back in to Hoist the Colors on a Thursday, 2 days out from kickoff. ECU and Memphis doing battle inside Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. We'll get more into that here in a little bit, but we are going to visit with one of the all-time greats, a freshly minted Hall of Famer. He is Shane Carden. Shane just got back out to Idaho from his time in Greenville. And how does that sound, Shane? Hall of Fame quarterback. Got to be pretty sweet.
It is very sweet, and the whole weekend was pretty sweet with everything. So it was a great time.
Let's dive in, man. We'll start first just with the ceremony, getting back into town and reconnecting with some former players and coaches, obviously. So can you kind of walk us through what your weekend was like, starting with that ceremony Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it really was kind of a full reunion tour. A lot of old buddies in town, and a few of us went out and played in the golf tournament Friday morning. So just, started out having a blast that day, went back, tried to relax for a minute, and then, just jumped right in, seeing a bunch of old faces, old teammates, and, just kind of celebrating, in my mind, us, with Coach Ruff there and celebrating with Hardy and Dwayne and talking to Dwayne and just, us as little freshmen just scout team guys watching you do your thing and lead the way you were doing it and just kind of motivating us to go be that great. And then, to be up there with Hardy and be mentioned with him. And like I said, Coach Ruff being there and then a bunch of old teammates and everything. I mean, it really was a special night. Definitely a night I'll remember for the rest of my life. And, there was just a bunch of smiles and hugs and jokes. And as someone said in the group, just a bunch of old war stories with everybody. So just can't speak highly enough of how ECU put the whole night on, the way John Gilbert spoke to each one of us. It was an amazing evening all around, just like I said, from meeting old guys to meeting new people I had met before in the ECU, administration and fans and donors. And, man, it's just I can't speak highly just the way it was handled and presented to us.
Shane Carden, ECU Hall of Fame quarterback with us, visiting on the phone, fresh off his big weekend. And I mean, look, going into the Hall of Fame is special in itself, Shane, but going in with Justin Hardy, who, I mean, you guys broke every record together. We've told that story a million times, but to go in with him and then also Dwayne Harris, I mean, you guys, the three of you are, three of the biggest, in my opinion, biggest players, biggest legends in ECU football history. So, to go in with those guys, is it hard to even kind of sum up?
It is. I mean, but it's kind of, it just all makes sense. I mean, it's like, as I said that night, and as Ref always said, it's too coincidental to be coincidental. You just had, like I said, Dwayne, who was a senior, he's doing his last year when I first got there, and just to see what he did. And then, me and Hardy on scout team that year, and then Hardy going to play the next year, and then, us just going to do what we did. It's truly special. And as Hardy kept saying, it's only right, it's only right. It had to be this way.
Meeting back up with Ruff, when was the last time you saw him before this, and just kind of what were the emotions connecting with him?
I was trying to think about that last time I saw him, but I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, maybe 10 years since I've seen him in person. We keep up quite a bit, but yeah, there was just something special about seeing him in person. And I noticed as soon as he walked in the room, and I made sure to get right over there to him because I know how many people wanted to talk to him. But, just it was special, man. Just, hugged him for a long time. As everyone knows, the hugger he is. But it was awesome to see him and just see him interact with all, everyone else that he'd coached, and just saw how proud he was, and just, wanted to let him know how much he meant to us and how much, that night was him too, just to help us get there. And, it's about all of us, and that's what that group was. And that's what I spoke on that night as well.
Dwayne, obviously you mentioned that he was a senior doing his thing by the time you arrived, and Justin, y'all kind of got it together on the scout team, grew up from there. With those two guys, like, was there a moment in time that you can point to where you realize, like, all right, these guys are pretty legit too? And I know Dwayne was kind of already at that point, but when you look back at Justin and Dwayne going in with you, like, was there a time you kind of realized in practice or a game where, like, all right, these guys are pretty good too?
Yeah, I mean, immediately with Dwayne, as you're a little baby freshman just trying to get your feet wet, trying to figure out where the practice field is, you're just, wide-eyed everything. But noticing Dwayne and, summer workouts and 7-on-7s was immediately like, all right, well, that's their dude. That's their dude, and obviously learning a little bit about it as somebody, not 100% familiar with ECU before I went and visited, not knowing, who was who. And coming out to spring practice, seeing Dwayne do his thing there. I mean, I don't think there was any one specific moment with him. It was just, he just knew always, like, that was the dude. And then when Dominique started getting with him and throwing, it was just really fun to watch. And, like, all right, I kind of knew about the offense we were going to try and run, but watching those two kind of connect, like, all right, this could be really something great here. I don't know. With Hardy, was it practice 1, practice 2? I don't know. I remember very early on, I was like, this guy's legit. This guy's going to be really good here. And then to find out that he's a walk-on, I was like, wow, that's insane. And knowing that next year he was definitely going to be playing, and we talked about once I got there, he really gave me the confidence, and just the comfortability of just being with him is just, hey, we're just on another football field. This one happens to be, a few more people watching than our scout team practices, but let's just go do the same thing. And we were able to do that.
Shane Carden with us, former ECU quarterback. Shane, what did it mean? And Lincoln, may have reached out to you firsthand, but he put out that video on his social media. Lincoln Riley congratulating you, Dwayne, Justin, Terry Holland as well. Like, he's got a lot of stuff going on, head coach at USC, but to kind of take the time to do that, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, it meant a lot. It definitely meant a lot. And when I was asked what I missed most, it was the locker room and and the group, right? So I mean, it meant a lot, but it's not shocking. I think what made our time and our group so special is how close-knit everyone was. And as much as, Riley coached me pretty hard over the years, he's been nothing but gracious and offering since he left, since I left. I stayed in his home when I was in Norman, trained out there early on in my kind of post-ECU athletic career. We've stayed in touch. I went to a USC last game. We got on the field and talked with him, and Caitlin and my mom still text quite a bit. So it's what was built here. There was a very much, how it should be, a family atmosphere, and a lot of places speak on that, but we truly were that. And like I say, yeah, it meant so much that, he took time, out of his day. I mean, we obviously spoke on the phone since the whole thing was announced, but it was really cool that he put that out there for us, and just showed that it's forever. It's not just talk when you're talking to coaches like him and Ruff and other guys on that staff. It's the real deal.
Shane Carden with us. All right, so we know the pirate tattoo flex, obviously. When that happened, and you probably have told this story before, but the story behind the tattoo, like actually talking about it and getting it. Can you walk us through getting it, and then, like, were you nervous at all that it wouldn't work out, or were you pretty sold, all right, I'm going to get this tattoo, it's going to become pretty legendary, and obviously the history is kind of played out that way, but walk us through getting that tattoo.
I mean, so David Magazoo has a State of Mind tattoo as well. So, yeah, we maybe need to ask him about his. I just thought, man, that really came out as a great tattoo. And the logo, obviously, everyone loves. If you're a fan of, ECU at all, even that aren't, fans of ECU, at least respect that logo because it is one of the best in college football. And I was like, man, I got to get that thing. That thing's sweet. I just come off that sophomore year where, wasn't a starter, came back, played all those games, and, we had some success there. And it was like, man, I think it's time to get an ECU tattoo. I put it on the bicep just kind of as I thought it'd be a good spot to have it, posted it. When I first got it, there's an old Instagram post of it. And I think someone commented, oh, you got to have a celebration with that. There was never a thought that this thing was going to be like some huge, known picture. I never thought I could imagine the grandeur that it's turned into, or how much fanfare and it's become. And, I was flexing that day when I was on the field this past Saturday, just because, so many fans say, you got to flex that thing when they announce you. And of course, man. But no, there was never any thought to like, hey, I want to make sure I get in front of a camera after a touchdown. I mean, I finally saw the full video when I was flexing it. I ran it in. I'm looking, probably at the student section or picked out somebody in that, blue crowd and just started flexing at them. It wasn't very long, but man, that picture has definitely instilled in the lore of it forever. So it's awesome, man. I love that people love it. I love that, you get kids that do like a fake tattoo or don't even have a tattoo at all. And they just flex, for me and stuff like that. So I think it's appropriate for me and for the school that, it's become this thing.
Now we just got to get Magazoo to start flexing his. What's that going to take, man?
Yeah. I don't know. It wouldn't have taken a lot back in the day. He seems a little more humble around us these days.
No doubt. He's changed quite a bit, at least with his coaching persona. Maybe behind the scenes, he's still same old Mags. But Shane Carden with us, visiting with ECU Hall of Famer Shane Carden. And what was it like, man, just to take in the game at 2? Obviously, Pirates put it on Charlotte pretty good. It's homecoming, and had to feel good to witness a win, because I want to say, like, what was it, the Houston game you were here for a few years ago that didn't go so well? So what was it like to see a win?
Yeah, no, it was great. 2 years ago, I was here for that Houston game, and we didn't score until late into the fourth, a touchdown. So that first quarter touchdown, I kind of breathed a little sigh of relief that, okay, I can come back now. We're going to hopefully just continue this. And sure enough, we did, and put it on them. But it was awesome, man. I mean, I went to practice Thursday morning, got to, meet Harold in person for the first time, met Baker for the first time, talked to Caden for the first time, saw Mags again. And, this has really been, since I've been back, I've been back a handful of times. This has been the most welcomed I've felt back from the coaching staff, any of those visits. Harold texted me directly after it got announced. He texted me again last Sunday before the game week. He wanted to know, hey, what do I want? Do you want to come to practice? What do you need? Like, just to, again, thank you, like, congratulating me. John David Baker, the same. Hey, you want to come to meetings to this? Fortunately, I had a crew of 10 plus, so it was a little hard to coordinate coming in for meetings, but I got everyone to come out to practice. And it was great. And just to, take that, meet those guys in person, really get to know them a little bit better. Like I said, talk with Hauser a bit and, spend some time with him after practice and just, the guy he seems to be and most likely is, and then he goes out Saturday and just puts it on. I mean, it was great to see, man. It was great to see, and a lot of fun for, a few friends that had never been to that place. And obviously for my family, my dad hasn't been back since, my senior night. And so for my parents to be back and kind of see that and be there with them, it was truly special.
Shane Carden with us. And I asked Caden just how much he got a chance to talk with you and what were your impressions of Caden? Because I feel like, he not the same exact story as you because he transferred in, but, he's from, Vegas originally, then California. And, like, you don't necessarily think a guy like that would fit in great in Greenville, but he kind of has really bought into this place. And, you being a Texas guy can kind of, co-sign on that. So did you have a chance to really dive deep with him? And what did you, what wisdom did you impart on number 4?
It's Thursday, so I don't, we're not trying to dissect too much to him. I just said, hey, man, you're doing some great things right now, man. I just told him to keep it up. You're making a lot of people proud here right now. I said, so just keep being you. And he was very appreciative. They watched some highlights of me and Hardy right before they came out to practice. I thought that was kind of funny. But, no, man, I mean, he seems like the real deal. And seemed like a very genuine guy when I talked with him. Got to watch him practice a little bit. That ball really, comes off his hand hot and just seems in total control of practice. And the guys, every guy that I talked to, because, I've been back before and, certain guys were closer to me and this and that. I mean, I had guys that grew up in Greenville, come up to me wanting a picture at practice. And so that was different, man. It really felt like, as Coach Rupp said, I was an old head at this point. So to see, Caden there kind of directing traffic and taking over practice, that's when you can really tell a quarterback, in a game, everyone's kind of rolling high emotional, it's easy to be kind of into it. But, when you have a quarterback in practice really moving the troops and getting people excited and being crisp at practice, that's when you can really tell who the guy is. And it's very clear with Caden. He has total control of that. He definitely has a good relationship with Baker. Baker seems excited about having him and just kind of what they've been doing. So it's fun to see the whole thing.
Shane Carden with us. A couple more things for you, Shane. We'll get you out of here. And I just felt like the weekend, Shane, it felt like obviously old times because so many people, including yourself, were back. But also like it just felt more like a true program again. Like ever since Ruff was let go years ago, like initially it kind of fractured, as you well know. And I don't know, everything just felt right this past weekend. Like you mentioned, Blake, kind of the way he's run the program. Did you kind of get that vibe as well? Like it almost feels like a family, even if guys were back that hadn't played with your team, but it just felt like everybody was on one accord once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's definitely, last few times I've been back, it's felt different. And, getting to be there at practice again, I think game's one thing, but at practice when you're seeing Coach Harrell talk to those guys, and those guys are just locked in on him and fired up to hear what he has to say and allowing me and Hardy to come out and talk to those guys after and just being, checking in with me, hey, how are you guys doing? This and that, and with the coach that, I just met. So, and then seeing the players, man, they just had a good way about them of being, happy, having fun after practice, but being totally locked in during and just not a lot of extra time around each period. I mean, it was period to period. We're rolling through, we're going, and that's how we were when we were there. It was just going, get with coach. Coach Ruff's speech after practice probably a little longer than Coach Harrell's, but and then after, man, everyone's just happy. We're out there having fun, locked in during it, but enjoying the time. And that was kind of my message, man. That this place, ECU, that whole part of the state is something special. And I've got to meet some guys that played at different places, and they had success and this and that, but I don't think they had the true joy that we had when we were at ECU. And I definitely know the joy that I had playing there. And it's not all positive. There's going to be some tough times and there's going to be some losses here and there, but overall, the like I said, joy of playing for someone that runs a program the way Ruff did it, and it seems, from my understanding, my quick foot on the ground there and getting to really talk to some guys, it seems the way Harold's doing it, and I think that just speaks volume of his character and what he's doing.
All right, Shane, update us on the home life. How's the wife doing? How's the real estate business going? How's the coaching going as well at the high school level?
Everything's good out here, man. Wife's great. This is her second time back, and she really got to know a lot of my friends and their wives over the last few times and going on some trips. So we all just had a great time. Real estate's going well out here. We had a good year, finishing up with a few more fun things. Hopefully before the snow flies, if not, we'll carry it over and close after the new year. But and then, Coach, I mean, I just, football's the greatest sport in the world. And, getting to see some kids come back now and calling me coach, are starting their own lives and getting to see, them grow up. It's special. And, to give back to this community and be a part of it in that way is, I don't know, I ever saw myself, in this role, but truly something that I cherish a lot. And, it's all fun.
Kenny Curlins on YouTube says, Shane, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. I can't express enough how much you and your teammates meant to Pirate Nation. You are a legend in Pirate football history. Guns up, and thank you, Captain Carden. A lot of people seconding that as well. Well, Shane, always fun to catch up with you, man, and I second those comments from Kenny as well. You're always a class act to cover and always a class act to still talk to this day. And, hey, the best news is you can come back because the Pirates won while you were here. So you're officially welcome back now from this point forward.
That's right. Well, I was talking to one fan for a while, and they were talking about how much it meant to Pirate Nation. I just looked at them and said, you guys don't realize how much Pirate Nation means to me and what, over the years and the love that I get when I come back. So I appreciate all you guys.
All right, Shane, we still got to get that beer next time you're back, man. It's happening next time, I promise.
I think next time I'll have less events to attend, so we'll definitely make that happen.
All right, man. Great to talk with you, and keep doing your thing out in Idaho. Always fun, man. We'll talk with you.
Sounds good, Stephen. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that is Shane Carden, newly minted ECU Hall of Famer. Always great to catch up with the captain, as Coach Ruff would say. former Pirate quarterback. Let's get our final break in. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show after this.
Hurry to Greenville Toyota for model year-end savings on a Camry. Just $229 a month. $229 a month. Or new RAV4, $279 a month. $279 a month. Only during our model year-end move-out. Right now at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end move-out. Save on a new Corolla, just $149 a month. $149 a month. Or new Tacoma, $249 a month. $249 a month. Now get a move on and
Loyal
save
and
at
bold
Greenville
with
Toyota.
purple and gold.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, final segment here. Appreciate Shane Carden taking the time to join the show. Always a treat to have number 5 on the program. Final few minutes here. Philip Pilkin back in the 94.3 The Game studios. Wanted to address a few questions we got on the YouTube feed. Kenny Curlin says, Igo was listening to the podcast last night. Help me out if you can. Somebody said that Hauser had a not-so-great game, almost 250 passing yards, 4 total touchdowns, had 2 drops for touchdowns. Ain't that good? So, I mean, I think Caden Hauser's playing at a high level. I would say it wasn't his best game. He missed a throw or two. But, I mean, look, Caden is if he keeps doing what he's doing, Pirates are going to have a shot to win every week, Philip. I think the grades, really outside the BYU game, he has been good enough to win every game this year.
Yeah, I think Caden's playing great, and part of that with him playing great maybe does come to us being a little harder on him, right? Yes, there were a couple drops, but like you said, he missed a couple throws, and do we expect him to be perfect? No, he's a human being, but also I think my just expectations for Caden continues to grow and grow every week, so I'm going to continue to be hard on him, and it's not because I don't like him, it's because I do like him, and I know where the ceiling is.
Robert says that ECU will have more quarterback rushing yards than Memphis this week, thinking ECU will run Hauser and Wright more than usual. I don't know about that, Robert. I think even if Lewis plays, I don't know if he'll run, but their backup, Arrington Maiden, if he plays, he is a runner. I don't know. I feel like I would take Memphis there. But if ECU does have more quarterback rushing yards, that's a great sign for the team, I would say.
It is. Hey, maybe the coach doesn't like they coached the NC State game. This is kind of the equal caliber opponent of last year's NC State team to this year's Memphis team, just saying.
We'll see what happens on that front. A lot will depend on the health of the quarterback for Memphis. Hunter wants to know, even though the Broncos are leading the division, where would we rank them in the AFC West? I mean, the Chiefs are still number one until proven otherwise, and I'm not going to believe in the Chargers, even though I know Philip thinks the Chargers are maybe the best all-around team. Your thoughts, Philip?
Yeah, I'm going to put you guys at number 3 right now, just top to bottom. I trust both teams' quarterback play just a little more. I think your guys' defense is better than Los Angeles, but Bo's kind of a little bit of a sophomore slump. Not that he's been bad; it's just his freshman year was just, or his rookie year, was just so good.
Yeah, he has not been great. We'll see what happens Sunday. Final few seconds, Philip. What do we want to see tonight? ECU basketball hosting Elizabeth City State.
Hit some threes.
Hit some threes. Win the game comfortably. And no fouls, please. No fouls, no reviews. I'm going to be there with my 4-year-old son. His attention span is not the best, so I'm hoping that the game moves rather quickly so we can stay for the whole game. That's my hope, but we'll see. Pirates looking to get to 2-1. They return home 7 o'clock tip tonight. You can hear it on 94.3 The Game. Also, the Logan Zone from 4 to 6. Pregame coverage as well, 30 minutes ahead of the basketball game on 94.3 The Game. Appreciate Shane Carden, Pirate football legend, also Maceo Donald, sideline reporter. You can catch any of those interviews if you missed them on podcast or on our archive channels as well. We'll be back Friday, 12 noon on a Football Friday edition of Hoist the Colors. We'll see you then.